Time for a wealth tax in America. I've heard that there are some billionaires who don't support this plan.
The vilification of billionaires makes no sense to me. It's bull.
Oh, that was a clip from a new ad the Warren campaign is running here on CNBC, targeting several prominent Wall Street veterans, including Lee Cooperman. Mr. Cooperman and Senator Warren have engaged in a back and forth over the senator's controversial wealth tax proposal. Mr. Cooperman joining us now live by phone. Lee, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
You've seen the ad. You wanted to respond to it. Now's your chance.
Well, I don't know if I should respond because I'm just giving her more credibility by speaking out. But anyway, that's my nature. Let me first thank you for the opportunity to set the record straight, even though, frankly, you're indirectly responsible for my emergence on the political scene. As you know, at the recent Delivering Alpha conference, you asked me what effect a Warren victory in November of next year would have on the market, and I responded down 25%. I noticed that Paul Tudor Jones had a similar view. Stevie Cohen had a similar view. They're much more astute traders than me. Okay, and I'm told by many that I'm too optimistic. And what followed tells me that Senator Warren is a politician in the worst sense of the word, and let me explain. The next day, she responded with one of her pithy tweets, and I quote, "Leon, you were able to succeed because of the opportunities this country gave you. Now, why don't you pitch it a bit more so everyone else has a chance at the American dream, too?" Okay. This shows to me, demonstrates to me that she knows as much about me as she knows about the wealth tax. I agree I've lived the American dream, okay? And my family and I, and grandchildren included, are all about helping out. When I took the giving pledge, the Buffett-Gates giving pledge 9 years ago, I told Warren Buffett that it was my plan, with the agreement of my family, to give away all my money at death. Along the way, we've created the Cooperman College Scholars Program in Newark, New Jersey, where we established a fund to pay college tuition for 500 worthy kids in Newark. We've made similarly large gifts to establish scholarship programs at Hunter College and the City University of New York,
right,
and Columbia University Graduate School of Business, two institutions from which I hold a degree. These three programs alone exceed $100 million support. I consider myself extremely lucky to be able to do this, and I'm a philanthropist with a small p. When I think about other wealthy people like Bernie Marcus, Ken Langone, Mike Bloomberg, Jeff Bezos, on and on and on.
Let me say this. So let me just maybe just counter with what someone on the other side or in agreement with the senator may say, that this overall issue, Lee, is not so much about your generosity. Everybody agrees that you're a generous man. You've done a lot with the wealth and the success that you've had. It's not about me. Let's forget about. I'm just saying in general. This is not about those who are philanthropic. It's about a system that has enabled people of your level of wealth to get that wealthy in and of itself, when those at either in the middle or at the bottom can't seem to grow their own wealth in any substantial way, and that those at the top are growing theirs exponentially larger than those at the bottom are. Their wages are stagnant. Their ability
is that the result of wealthy people, or is that a result of problems in the system? Is that a result of a poor educational system? What are the causes? I don't know. You're raising issues that are beyond my scope. All I know, in any society, okay, unless you hit the lottery or unless you inherited a lot of money, the only way you became a billionaire is by providing a product or service that the public found valuable. And so do we want to penalize success? Is the world a better place because of Bill Gates, because of Jeff Bezos, because of Michael Bloomberg, because of Bernie Marcus, because of Ken Langone? I say unequivocally yes. So, I'm not saying we don't have problems, okay, with what I have said repeatedly, that I am prepared to work for the government 6 months a year of every year and work 6 months for myself. That's a 50% tax rate. I believe in my heart in the progressive income tax structure and that rich people should pay more. Raise the tax rate and get rid of the loopholes. Get rid of carried interest. I said that on your program 7 years ago, actually, it was on Squawk Box. Get rid of Section 1031 of the IRS code that allows these real estate guys to indefinitely roll forward capital gains tax liability. Do something with the overall tax rate. A wealth tax makes no sense. It will lead to unnatural acts, be near impossible to police, and is probably unconstitutional. Think about it in the real world. You're a farmer. You're a manufacturer. Okay, you have your own business. All your wealth is tied up in your business. Are you going to hive off 2% of your business, your farm, every year to pay the wealth tax? It doesn't make any sense. I think the main beneficiary of this will be the gold, because people, will hide their wealth by doing unnatural things. I determined it would be now. Let me just go on because I really want to set the record straight. I determined it would be helpful to explain my issues with her advocacy, and I wrote her a 5-page letter that has received near universal acclaim. An old professor of mine said it was an A-plus letter. Her response, nothing about the letter, but pointed out I own stock in Navient, a student loan company which she has constantly bashes without any proven documentation of her claims. She probably would be upset to hear I have a profit on the investment despite a constant unfair jabs at the company. My letter was respectful and hopeful that we could work together to deal with the many serious problems our nation faces: income disparity, student loan debts, health care coverage, crumbling infrastructure, etc. Let me read for your audience, my concluding paragraph of my letter. I am a registered independent who votes the issues and the person, not the party. The fact is, Senator Warren, that despite our philosophical differences, we should be working together to find common ground in this vital conversation, not firing off snarky tweets that stir your base at the expense of accuracy. Let's elevate the dialogue and find ways to keep this a land of opportunity where hard work, talent, and luck are rewarded and everyone gets a fair shot at realizing the American dream. Okay, hardly combative, very conciliatory. What was her response? Basically, the Navient response. Okay.
This is stirring her base. I know, as you referenced at the top, have been urged by some of your friends, very prominent people, I'm not going to mention any names, to not engage in this back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. I got emails on both sides. I
know, but
I have
you
an email
continue.
from a guy I respect. No. I look, this is my nature. I got an email from somebody I respect and it says, do not let her get away with what she said about all this inside trading crap. Okay, her response raises some old insider trading allegations I want to address, by the way, which was settled some time ago with no admission of guilt, and plays a video clip where I got emotional on one of your recent programs because I was so upset about the destructive dialogue she was pursuing. Nothing to do with paying more in taxes. As regards the SEC, I'm limited to what I can say, but let me tell you what my attorney said. Okay, I entered into what is called a no admit, no deny agreement. That means I can't say I'm innocent, they can't say I'm guilty. My attorney said to me, and as I'm quoting my attorneys now, this is not me, my attorney said, congratulations, you won. Anytime the SEC goes along with a no admit or no deny agreement and no timeout, the defendant won. Personally, I don't feel I won anything. My attorneys encouraged me to accept the agreement because if I didn't, it would tie me up for about 2 years and cost $20 million in legal fees. This compares to the settlement cost of under $5 million. Believe me, if America had a judicial system like the UK, where losing party pays, I would have never settled. If Senator Warren wants to do something constructive, tackle the legal system and the SEC. Her vilification of the wealthy is totally uncalled for, and her wealth tax idea is totally misguided. Read the letter. She criticized the wealthy because she understands there are more poor people than wealthy people, so she appeals to very base instincts. That is not the America or the leader of America that I want. Okay, 25 years ago, I was honored by a charity, and the guest speaker was Jack Kemp. And at that dinner, he said, "The America I grew up in, people don't hate the wealthy; they want to be them." Okay, her ideas have come under heavy criticism. Forget me. Okay, heavy criticism as being totally unrealistic. The Wall Street Journal ran an editorial page comment. Warren has a fantasy plan that's regarding health care. Stephen Ratton, a Democrat, recently wrote in the New York Times, the Warren way is the wrong way. Lawrence Summers, a Democrat with outstanding economic credentials, he's forgotten more about the economy than I know, and I quote him, her numbers don't add up or make sense. These comments remind me of the comment made by Will Rogers, the famous satirist and political commentator. If we got 1/10 of what was promised us in the State of the Union speeches, there wouldn't be any inducement to go to heaven. See, she is peddling a story that makes no sense whatsoever.
The New York Times today, the Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania, have both come out. Their analysis showed that the wealth tax would cut growth by about an average of 0.2%. So there certainly are those who believe it's not a good idea, that it would hurt the economy. You have people on your side who agree with you.
I'm not worried about who's on my side, who's against me. What I'm worried about is what's equity. The people that accumulate this wealth, they pay their taxes along the way. I think currently the federal income tax rate is 37%. The tax on investment and dividend and interest income is 3.6% under Obamacare. Then you have another Medicare tax, I think 90 basis points. Then you have FICA, 6.65%. We've paid taxes along the way. We've obeyed the law, basically. She wants to change the law. Okay, I don't think it's constitutional, by the way, and I'm not worried about it. Whatever happens, happens. It's just the wrong thing. It's going to lead to unnatural actions by people.
Let me ask you this. So she's not obviously the only one who has engaged in this debate back and forth, what some want to call a war on wealth. Robert Reich, former labor secretary.
Another. Let me tell you, if I told you some of the things he said, I can't find the quote.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it for you. He tweeted the other day, and I'm quoting here. I want your response to it. There are basically 5 ways to accumulate $1 billion in America. 1, profiting from a monopoly. 2, insider trading. 3, political payoffs. 4, fraud. 5, inheritance. None of these has anything to do with being successful in the supposed free market. That's what he said.
I don't want to be derogatory, but I happen to be very friendly with Bernie Marcus. The hardware business is very competitive. Lowe's is a very good competitor to Home Depot. Home Depot happens to out-execute them. But basically, in my opinion, is Home Depot a monopoly? No. There are very few monopolies in America. Okay, there are good businesses and there are bad businesses. But what he says is totally it's ignorant to the facts. And this is a professor at Harvard. That's probably part of the problem with 40% of the millennials, is my understanding, think that socialism is superior to capitalism. The reason is they're exposed to all this crap at the college campuses from these left-leaning professors. Okay, so I don't know. I'm uncomfortable in this position. I think her ideas are wrong, but I was really addressing the approach she takes. I don't even think she's read my letter. She's never responded in any substantive fashion to what I wrote to her. And I spent a lot of time with some additional help in my firm to write that letter. And I have a few questions for the good senator. How many months of the year do you want to work for the government, and how many months do you want to work for yourself? Secondly, what is your effective tax rate last year? Third, I congratulate you on your financial success, but I wonder how a college professor and a politician can accumulate an $18 million net worth. I'm interested in learning. Explain to me. I repeat what I said in the closing paragraph of the letter I sent to you. Let's work together to solve our problems and stop with these pithy, nonsensical tweets. You should know better than that. As our former classy First Lady Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. I've tried to stay on the high road. If you keep up with this baloney that you're putting out there, I may be forced to go in the low road. Then I'll ask you, why did you lie on your Texas bar application in 1986? Okay, why did you lie on your application to Harvard and University of Pennsylvania when you applied for employment saying you were from American Indian heritage? We don't need another fabricator in the White House. What we have to do is work together, be serious students, and understand. I have no problem paying higher taxes. You want to move me to 50% from 37%, and that's the will of the country? That's fine. There's no better place to live than America, and I'll pay whatever taxes are asked of me, and I'll do whatever I have to do. But your attacks are directed to the wrong person and on the wrong issues. And as you said, Scott, I'm not there alone. I have a lot of company, and I really don't relish being in this position. I don't need the notoriety. I don't need the visibility. I want to be left alone. I got one genius sent me an email. I got 400 and something emails, 399 favorable. One guy says, if I knew where you live, I'd put a bomb in your car. That's what we're dealing with in this country.
I mean, look, you have gotten some threats.
It's your fault.
All this started.
It's your fault.
Well, I didn't put words in your mouth at Delivering Alpha. I just asked you a question.
No, but you asked me a question. Let me tell you something. I think if Elizabeth Warren wins or Bernie Sanders wins, the market goes down more than 25%.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the market is assuming that the current president wins again, and I don't think that's a shoo-in, nor should it be a shoo-in. I have issues, I have plenty of issues. You can get me in trouble. You got me in trouble with Warren, and you can get me in trouble with the president. I talk what I believe, and that's it. But I'm sorry. You go ahead.
She's
You're
likely.
very gracious and give me time.
I'm certain that she's going to, if she's not watching this, live, she's going to find it and she's going to see it and she's going to respond to it. And then what are you going to do?
I'm going to do nothing. I've said my piece. I've said my piece. Listen, I've said this before. I'm a philanthropist with a small p. There's so many guys out there and ladies that I admire and envy for what they've done. But I'm very lucky. I went to public school, 75 in the South Bronx, Morris High School in the South Bronx, Hunter College in the West Bronx. I followed the advice of Harless Greeley. I went west. Okay, I'm a first generation of my family born in America. My father came to America from Poland at the age of 13 as a plumber's apprentice. He died carrying up a sink in a tenement building in Florida when he was working, and basically in retirement. And I've done very, very well. I'm very lucky, and I'm going to give it all back. She has fought with that. That's her problem, not my problem. I'm at peace with myself, and that's it. I'm done. No more. And what's happened, I fill a nice news hole. I work for free. People don't pay me. So whether it's CNBC, Bloomberg, CNN, Fox News, they're all calling me. I don't need it. I need the visibility. I tell everybody I'm like the guy in Godfather, Hyman Roth, right before they shot him at the airport. He said, I'm retired. He said, I'm a retired executive living on a pension. I'm a retired money manager living on investment income. And my greatest pleasure in life is seeing my kids and my grandkids grow old purposely and giving away my money. That's it.
Well, we understand. Lee, let's just leave it there. Let's leave it there.
And I appreciate the time you've given me, and I promise you this is the last thing. Next time we talk, we're going to talk about the market, and we're going to talk about stocks we like. We're not going to talk about politics. But I'll go on record, if this lady wins, we're in big trouble.